Your WordPress site, actually.
All right, we're live.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
Excellent, Monika. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's so exciting to be here with you today.
And for me, too. Absolutely.
I'm really excited to see you at the next event, and I was just hoping to get a little bit of your time to introduce you to our network of women in business, since you are very experienced in this field. So thank you for coming on air today.
Well, thanks for having me. It's going to be fun.
Yes. Would you like to just start by introducing yourself and a little bit of your background so that the ladies kind of get a feel for who you are?
Sure. I was someone who was in the corporate world for actually about 50 years, and I never thought that I would be self-employed, but it just happened that as much as I had a great career in corporate, I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. The passion wasn't there, even though I had a great, successful career. So I just started dabbling in interior decorating and found out that I really had this very creative side to me. And I'd always done artsy things throughout my life. I actually used to design clothes.
Oh, nice.
And I used to make jewelry, and I used to make lampshades and slip covers and things like that. So I've always done that kind of thing as a hobby, but you know, the mindset said, oh, that's too much fun. You can never make any money at it, right? So I just kind of ignored it. And then when I was 50, I took the decorating, found that I loved it, and I sort of fast-tracked things. I started I started with a plan, like how, you know, you always want to see the end result first and then kind of work backwards, like how will that feel when you're not doing what you're doing or your business grows or whatever. So for me, I thought, yeah, I think I could make a living doing this, but I tried it part-time because I kept my corporate work because, like a lot of women starting out, we still have to pay the bills.
Yes.
And I don't believe in just, you know, I believe in taking a leap of faith, but not just doing it blindly. Like, I think you need to have a plan to do that. So I did, and I worked, you know, I went from 5 days a week to working 4 and 3, and then I worked in a fabric store, furniture store, design store, all of that. So I really got immersed into what it would feel like to be into another field that I'd never been in before. And so I was about 50. I just went in and quit my job one day, and honestly have never looked back. So I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've had a few different businesses along the way as well. And yeah, so that's sort of how I got started.
Excellent.
Being an entrepreneur.
That's excellent. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your law of attraction, because there's many ideas out there about using the law of attraction, and how would you describe how you were using it?
Okay, that's a really good point, Monika. A lot of people got introduced to The Secret.
Yes.
And The Secret, we say with the law of attraction, how I've been trained, is that it was very inspirational, but it wasn't a how-to kind of thing. And I'm a how-to person. Like I'm a trainer. I'm the archetype of a teacher. So I'm always wanting to teach people simple ways to do something. So I started using the law of attraction actually when I was 35. And the way I used it then is I looked at everything that was not working in my life. Sorry, that was a cat walking across. Everything that was not working out in my life. So I did what's called a clarity and contrast list. So on the what I didn't want side was I was broke, Monika. I was recently divorced. I was working 3 jobs, none of them just barely covering my expenses. And I was with a man that I didn't really respect any longer. So it was all of the things I didn't want. And I sort of had one of those aha moments. It's like, you know what? I'm done. I just can't do this. I've created this. I can recreate this. So then I just focused on what I wanted. And so that's how I use the law of attraction. When I teach it, I teach a 3-step deliberate creation or deliberate attraction process. And I've used that throughout my entire life, even though I only recently became a certified law of attraction trainer. I've I've just been doing it for so long. I thought, you know what, I'll just go get a certification in it because that, you know, like a lot of people, if you're looking to get more credibility, then getting certified in something or taking courses just,
Yes.
you know, adds to you being perceived as that expert. And you do become the expert, right? So I'm
Yes.
very immersed in this whole law of attraction. I love it. I mean, I don't think there's a minute in my day where I don't operate with it or I'm not aware of it, because it works 24/7. It's just like the law of gravity, right? It's always working, whether we know it or not.
For someone who has never been introduced to the secret or the law of attraction, do you want to just maybe give us a short little rundown of what it is, what it entails?
Yeah, thanks. That's a good question, Monika. So I think the easiest way to explain that is to just give this definition that, you know, you attract into your life whatever you give your attention, energy, or focus to, whether wanted or unwanted. So, for example, for someone that, you know, say they're looking for clients and they don't find the right client, or they get hired by somebody that is not very nice, doesn't have the same values, doesn't pay them on time, until they actually stop and say, okay, I don't want that anymore, and say what they do want, they'll continue to attract that type of client. And as soon as they get it and say, okay, well, my ideal client is someone who pays easily, who respects me, who loves my work, who loves to refer me, that's when you change the energy. Because whether you're focusing on something that's negative, you're going to get more of it. But if you switch that and change the vibration, because all we are is energy, to something that's positive, and it's like, oh yeah, I want more of this, then that's what the universe keeps on giving us.
Yes, it's so
more what we want. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say to, because our network is full of women in business, and many of them are at different stages. Some have been in business for years and years like you, and some of them are just starting. Is there something specifically you would say to women in business? Just a little tidbit maybe of something that you can think of off the top of your head today, specifically toward being a woman in business and using that law of attraction as something that they could really incorporate in their business model.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say the first thing is to be really clear on what you want your business to look like.
Exactly.
You know, is it part-time? Is it full-time? What kind of hours do you want to work? Are you someone that likes to work at night? Then you've got to find yourself to be able to do that with the lifestyle that you've got. Or maybe, you know, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you like working early. Maybe you don't like working any regular hours, right? So you decide, right? It's all about getting clear on what you want. And you also have to, again, as I say, kind of run the movie backwards. When you've got what you want, even you may not know how to get there, Monika. When you've got what you want, you're going to be much clearer on it, so the universe can start giving you those things. And something that a lot of people don't understand about the law of attraction is this whole thing of allowing. When we say allow it, it doesn't mean, it's not woo-woo. It's not throwing out there, oh, I'd like, or, you know, it could be business, it could be finding the right business partner even, right? So again, it's getting clear on that, but then start to look at the closeness of the matches of what you're attracting, because it may be 100% perfect the first time, but not always. So you want to always be in that positive energy and saying, okay, well, that wasn't the perfect partner for me because they're not flexible on their hours, and I'd like somebody that's flexible on their hours. So but say, you know, that was great, now let's just get a little bit closer to what I want. I'm gonna redefine that, because now I know I'm clear on it, right? Yeah. So you can do that with anything in business that you want. Even if you want to find a client, it's the same thing. What does your client look like? Where are you going to find them? And then you've got to take some action.
Yes, that's a big step, right?
And that's the biggest thing. And the biggest thing with if I could only tell women one place, if they didn't have a big 90-day or 1-year marketing plan, if I only gave them one tip, it would to be someone who does networking.
Yes. And
that's why your group is so fantastic, because, years ago when I used to be in corporate world, I used to go to the Vancouver Board of Trade, and I traveled a lot, so I'd go to all the cities' boards of trades, and we'd network, and women used to call it the good old boys club because it was just, it didn't seem very conducive to the way women like to network. But
Yes.
now we've got all these great meetup groups, great networking opportunities where women connect. We connect so differently.
Yes,
from
we
men, right?
sure do. Yes.
And it's not all about, you know, sometimes I go networking. Like I mentioned, this luncheon I'm going to tomorrow, I'm not really going there to get business. That's not my intention for this one. I just want to enjoy myself. I want to get to know the women better. So in this case, it's not that I want to give. I want to be able to help some women, have a conversation. I'm not there to sell anything. And there's something that all people dislike, that we don't like to be sold to, but we do like to buy.
Yes.
And, you know, when you go networking, Monica, and you've got those people that are just in your face and, you know, you don't even know who they are, and they're, all of a sudden you go the next day and they've got you in their email and, you know, great to meet you, and it's like, I don't even remember meeting you. That's just not how we network anymore. So I always say, you know,
I think also specifically women aren't networking that way anymore either, because we are also at the forefront of, a lot of us have businesses and we're doing lots of different things. We really value our relationships a little bit differently than men do, and we work together a little bit differently. So I think that's where it's kind of changing for us specifically.
Absolutely. Yeah. Women are much more supportive, and you had the key word there. It's all about relationships now. Like, you know, even with our newsletters and staying in touch with people, it used to be, you know, I'll just say the old days, but, you know, not that long ago, where everybody took everybody's business card and they had to get it in their database. And, you know, when I started Empowered Women in Business, I never did that. I did that with my other businesses, but I said, this one is only going to be women who want to sign up themselves or who have expressed interest and said, well, can you get me signed up? I'd love to get your newsletters, or I'd love to know when you're doing a webinar, a hangout, or a workshop. Because that's telling you, you know, there's terms in marketing called push and pull marketing. That's where they're actually wanting to be part of what you've got. So you're attracting them, which is a good thing, rather than having a database made up, because that's energy as well, right? If you've got a lot of people in your database that you don't even know and you've just put them in there, you know, chances are they're just not going to buy from you. You know, they're not going to be referring you because they don't know you.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. No, and that goes back to the law of attraction and being able to attract the ideal client and those relationships to grow the business, right? And have fun doing it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's another operative word there. Have fun, right? Because you know, for me, when I left corporate, you know, there were some fun times. It wasn't always work, although lots of times it did seem like it. But you know, I vowed to myself that when I became self-employed, which I have been since about 2002, but 2004 full-time, so that's, you know, just over 10 years, it had to be fun.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to talk to anybody I didn't want to talk to. If in my coaching, if I didn't like them, and I sensed that we weren't going to be a good fit, it didn't matter to me about the money. It's like, no, we're not a good connect. It's not worth it. You know, life is more, you know, we're really on this planet to be happy.
Yes, it's so true.
And, you know, I love that song, you know. That's just so good. That's the whole thing he's got going about happiness, right? Because it's true. Like, we're supposed to be happy here. And it doesn't matter what your age. So, you know, if women in their business and they're not happy, then, you know, they may be doing things in their business that are not kind of what I call their sacred gifts. I look at, you know, sometimes people are just not in the right business, or they need to delegate a lot of stuff that they're not very good at. I mean, I know when you first start out, you're doing everything, right? I mean, I did my books, which I just detest doing. You know, I did all my admin. I followed up myself on phone calls. I did everything, right? Did my own website in the beginning as well. But now, you know, I have contract people. I don't have any employees. That's a business model that I chose, but I have a lot of people on my team that I know I can always count on, and they're there to support me. And I do surround myself with like-minded people, because that keeps the energy up. Because, you know, a lot of women, Monica, are isolated.
Yes. Well,
right?
and when you're surrounded by people who are not on the same page as you are
Yeah.
in terms of your life or your personal or professional goals, that also affects your business and your energy, like you say, and brings you more of the energy that you are surrounding yourself with, right? So that's another key thing I think that's really important to remember, is to surround yourself with like-minded people who will want to grow, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why I found you, actually.
There you go.
It's true.
Well, we found each other, right?
Yes, it's true, yeah.
Because that's one of my goals is, you know, not that I talk a lot about age, or I don't even think about an age, but often when I tell people that I'm 65, they go, whoa, well, you don't look it or whatever, which is always a nice compliment to a woman, right?
Yes.
But I tell them that because my mission is to educate, inspire, and empower women to create successful businesses. So, you know, if I can do the educating through the law of attraction or the sacred gifts or whatever, but inspire them that, you know, we women, we're a big force in the world right now. Like we are the change agents.
Yes.
Right? There's so many women leaders now, women in power. I mean, I'm sure Hillary Clinton is going to run for president, and she may make it this time, right? So, and there's lots of women leaders around the world now, and, you know, all of that is changing. So we, you know, I think we live in well, we do, Monica, we live in a very privileged society, right? And especially even us here locally, we live in one of the richest cities in the world, but there's so much more that I think it's our, not necessarily a duty, but I like to think that women feel more inclined to do more charitable works or get involved with something that they really believe in. And that's what's going to change the world for those women that are, you know, not in the same position that we are in developing countries or whatever. I mean, we all have our places where we look to help other women, right? And I know your group does that, and, you know, that's what women are all about, supporting one another, but also empowering. Yeah. Right? And that's one big thing with the law of attraction. When people say they're trying to do something, that's just not a law of attraction word. You're not. You know, if you're going to try, you're not going to, chances are you're not going to do it. But, you know, think about empowering you. You're accountable.
Exactly.
You can't blame anybody. You may not agree with everything that you've attracted in your life, but if you really sat down and looked at it, you might go, well, you know what? Maybe I was thinking that, you know, and maybe it wasn't the best thoughts about somebody or something. So you have that opportunity in that moment to just, you know, do what I call the reset vibe, like just stop and always ask yourself, so what do I want this to look like? And then just move forward in that direction. And something that you just said about being surrounded by people that are not like-minded. One of the best things to do that I found, because, you know, sometimes family members, they're not on the same page, right? So my advice about that is just keep practicing and using the law of attraction, and they are going to notice, wow, she's always happy, or look what she's attracting, or she's got more clients, or how's she doing that, you know? And because we can never make anybody, you know, want to learn. We can't make anybody change, right, Monica? So I just say, you know, be the model, be the role model of what it is or how you want people to be, and know that we're human too, right? We're going to sometimes make mistakes, but that's what I like about now, having done this for so long, I just catch myself like that. Yeah. And, you know, there's certain words that I don't use, or don't is one of them, actually. I'm very mindful. Don't, not, and no, those three words. I'm very mindful and say, all right, what do I want? Or even someone, you know, complaining or moaning about their business or whatever, just stop them and very lovingly say, so what would you like your business to look like? Yeah. Who would be an ideal client? Who do you want to hang out with? Where do you want to go networking? Exactly. Right?
No, it makes so much sense. And sometimes I think it just takes that little nudge from people like yourself that can just say, hey, well, let's just stop and reset your vibe, like you said, and just take a little bit of a look at it so that you can move forward. Very important. Yeah. I was going to ask you also, since the statistics say that most small businesses fail in the first year and never make it past 5 years, how did you grow your home decorating company from zero to a six-figure income in less than 3 years?
Primarily networking.
Networking.
I had a business plan, and I worked more on the marketing part of it.
Right.
And 85% of my clients came from one networking group, Monika.
Really?
One networking group. I kept going, and I got involved. I volunteered. I, made myself known to people. Well, it was also a few years ago, so social media wasn't the marketing platform that it is now. So we didn't even have social media. But it was more having one-on-one meetings with people, like allowing people to get to know, trust, and like you. That's when they'll buy from you, right? So I did a lot of networking. I just immersed myself in the decorating world because I didn't really know anything about it. I knew the paint stores I liked. I knew the fabrics that I liked.
Yeah.
I knew places where I liked to shop. But as I said, I started working in a fabric store part-time. I made $11 an hour.
Yeah.
I went from making a pretty darn good corporate salary to $11 an hour. But I said, you know what? This is just training. So
that's right.
Obviously I had a bit of money, some money to support myself. I like abundance.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. So, having that plan, but working in that business where I got to understand more about the clients, the customers that would come in, what did they need, were they moving, were they selling, and then, going into paint stores, letting people know what I was doing, seeing how we could work, what strategic alliances could we have. So you have to immerse, with the gals that come to your group, they need to immerse themselves not only in the part where there's strategic alliances or possibly joint ventures, but just letting people know what they do.
Exactly.
And then you have to ask for the business.
It's true.
Right?
I have a question about when you say you made yourself really known to people. Very recently, I've been getting a lot of questions from women who want to start a business, or they have a great idea, but they're afraid of being like this high on a screen and out there. For numerous different reasons. They don't want to be too much on the internet with the social media the way that it is. So some of them are a little bit scared. Is there something that you would maybe say to those women, specifically how they would get known without being too forward in their social media marketing or their marketing approach?
Well, the one thing about social media that we want to avoid is selling.
Yes.
Right? So to me, I use social media just to engage with people. So, I know, because to me that's kind of a limited mindset. You're afraid of, people don't want to get
knowing you.
Sorry?
I feel like some of them are afraid of people knowing them. You know what I mean? Like they would rather be an anonymous business.
Really?
Whereas like you and I, we work as brands of our faces of our business, right? But lately, for some reason, people are afraid to get out there for some reason. Is there anything, have you come across that lately? No?
No, so can you give me an example of someone who wants to be behind the scenes, like a virtual assistant, or?
No, they want to have their own business, but they're afraid to do the promotions and the marketing themselves. So like something like this, what you and I are doing right now, would be very frightening for that person. They would rather be like kind of anonymous in terms of like, instead of being Dana Smithers or Monika Blichar, they would be just a brand without, like Lululemon, I don't know, like The Brick or something like that, where there's no actual persona attached to it. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, but then they have to get the brand of the company name out there, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, even with Lululemon, I mean, some people know the founder and that sort of thing, and the story that goes along with that. But, I mean, even if they are The Brick, there's still people that work for The Brick. But if you look at, The Brick still has a marketing plan, right? And their platform is a lot of TV, a lot of, and in fact, probably not more so TV, radio spots, that sort of thing. Then certainly they use social media. But yeah, I mean, you have to market. If you're not marketing your person per se, because we say, usually in solopreneur businesses, we are the business, right?
Exactly.
However, if you have a company name, that's still your brand.
Yeah.
So you're still representing the company. Somebody has to sell the business. So who's selling the business, right? Because if people cannot buy from us if they don't know who we are.
Who to contact.
Yeah, like if you're, you know, all marketing is because I have written a book. My first one is Start and Run a Home Staging Business. So it's, you know, from the very get-go, from your brand, you know, to the marketing, to the business plan, and then a little bit more on the staging part of it, pricing and all of that. But all marketing is educating and informing people what you do. So it doesn't matter if it's your company.
Yes.
You know, if it's a restaurant, people still have to know, and it's still the internal staff that promote the business, right? Even though someone may just be promoting the company name. I'd be happy to talk to some of those people because I'm not quite understanding. People can't buy from you if they don't know, period, right?
Exactly.
And you know, your comment about most businesses failing after 5 years, they do. So I've been very fortunate because I've had 3 businesses. And I just recently sold my home staging business. And, you know, when I started that business, I set my intention that I wanted to have something to sell.
Nice.
In 5 years.
That's great.
So I did it in 6 years, but that's okay. Right. So if you're never planning on selling your business, that's fine. But if people have read Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth.
Yes, I've read this one, yes.
Yeah, The Entrepreneur in Real. The thing he says is start your business with the end goal of selling it in mind, right? And I think that's really, really key, you know, to what you want to, even like you have to market yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
Or
I
your
totally
business,
agree.
right? Or your business, but still, you're the representative of the company. And if people are a little bit shy, Monika, if that's sort of what you're saying, there's other ways to do it. They can do, you know, do e-articles, do articles online. I've had a lot of articles. Like your group is the artist community. I've done tons of articles. In magazines or newspapers, you know, just get an article together that would interest, you know, the readers, the distributions, you know, clients, or who would want to read it. Have it all written up beforehand, have some pictures with it, and, you know,
submit it.
They're always looking for articles. So
guest blogging, there's also very popular. And
behind the scene, if you don't, you know, if you don't want to be a little bit more visible, but if people don't know about your company, they can't buy.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, good answer. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I was going to ask you, as a certified law of attraction trainer and small business strategist, what's the best advice you could give someone when they're starting out or they're stuck in their business?
I think I'd probably go back to getting clear on what you want.
Yeah, I think that was the best point.
Yeah, like what do you want your business to be? You know, as you know, for me, when I had my decorating staging business, I worked a lot. Yeah. And I would say I worked 7 days a week, and sometimes I worked 3 nights a week as well, because I also taught decorating at night school. So, you know, kind of know that you're going to, if you're just starting out, you're going to have to work a lot. You know, if you know what you want. Now, again, if it's just going to be a part-time business, you know, set your hours. But I think it's always important to know what that end goal is. How much money do you want to make in a year? You know, I'm not so big on doing 5-year plans because things move so quickly and change so quickly on our world. But if you have a good, solid, what do you want your business to be like, say, in 2 years? You know, how are you going to grow that? And then the next 2, I think that's very viable and very doable. But yeah, being clear on what your business is, what your business model is, where you make money, and if you're stuck in your business, take a look at where you're actually making money. Yes. And if something's not working for you, don't feel ashamed or upset or whatever about letting it go. Just let it go. Yeah. Right? And then find those things. Where's your money coming in? But also getting back to that fun thing, Monika, because it's you know, everything, you know, when I've done things just for the money, that's because I've had an end goal in mind.
Yes.
And I think anybody can do that short term, but it's not something that we women want to do on a long term, because we're mind, body, spirit beings.
Yes.
So we look at life differently. And the thing is, you'll run out of fuel.
Yes.
You'll get resentful, you'll get tired, then your business won't be fun anymore. So
and people can feel that. They feel that if you're not having a fun time, if you're not enthusiastic, or going out and trying new things and meeting new people, and they can feel that, they sense that from you. And with the like-minded, going back to that again, they don't want to hang out. Nobody wants to hang out with a negative Nancy all day, right? So.
And or that desperate, let's call her desperate diva, right? It's like you can tell when people are desperate. It's like when I do my talks, I talk about, wouldn't it be nice on our phone if we had a vibrational meter reader app, right? Where we could walk into a group. But we have that ourselves internally, right? That's our gut feeling. But you can go into a group and it's just, or a store or whatever, go like, ooh, like I just want to, I'm out of here kind of thing. And trust it, because you're just not vibrating at the same. You're not. Yeah, if it's negative, there's going to be a big distance of resistance between someone that's positive and that's going to be very uncomfortable. That's what you feel. That's what you feel in your gut. It's like, oh, something's just not right here.
No, I totally agree. Yes, well, that was very, very exciting. I'm so excited for you to come for the next meeting.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
July 30th. July, yes.
Can you believe it's already the end? It's almost the middle of July now. It's crazy.
Well, let's not rush it, Monica. It's just July 4th, right? Yeah,
It's next week will be the middle of July. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
And actually, next July 17th is my birthday, so I'm excited.
Oh, wow.
I love July.
You better write that down.
Yeah.
So you're a Leo.
Cancer.
Oh, Cancer. You just
Cancer. I'm on the cusp there. Yeah.
July 17th. All right, got that.
I wanted to just also let people know. So where can they find you? And I know you have an awesome newsletter too that you wanted to share with people. Where can they sign up for your newsletter?
Especially too with this whole new consent anti-spam thing in Canada.
Yes.
So it's all good if people go to my website, the 3 W's, empoweredwomeninbusiness.com. And I've got a few freebie things. They can get some audio freebies, a roadmap to success. And I've also got a free webinar on the law of attraction, which goes into a lot of detail about the scientific part. Because actually, the law of attraction is based on quantum physics. Some people don't know that. They kind of think it's woo-woo, but it's not. In fact, the scientific stuff is too heavy for me, so I just, kind of ignore that. But empoweredwomeninbusiness.com. I've got a lot of good things coming up down the road. Workshops and hangouts like this. I'll be doing I'll be doing a lot of teaching using the Hangouts because they're such a great tool and a new tool. Which is good.
And you taught me my very first
exactly.
So I really appreciate it. Yeah.
I actually bought a couple of these. They call me the pom pom girl in a good way. In a good way, right? Because when people look at my Hangouts, they know I'm excited. They don't even have to listen to what I'm saying. It's just a good feel. Yeah.
That's perfect. I love it. Well, thank you so much,
Well,
Jenna.
thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the girls on July 30th at the next Diamond Dolls meeting.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay.
Great.
Looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.